We lost David Stern today, and I want to take time to reflect on him and what he has meant to me and the NBA community that has spawned because of him. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I want to talk about former NBA Commissioner David Stern, who passed away on January 1, 2020 after suffering a brain hemorrhage. December 17th, was hospitalized for it. Stern is the reason we have the NBA that we love so much, even as there are people who rightfully so despise David Stern. He gave the league its dress code years ago, which was supposed to spruce up the league following the Malice at the Palace, where we had folks like Ron Artest and Steven Jackson get in the hands with Jermaine O'Neal, just two-piecing people in the stands, and you really need to clean up the image of the NBA. And he thought, rightly or wrongly, the way to do that was to make a dress code. And what it spawned was NBA fashion. It spawned Russell Westbrook showing up in what? And it spawned all these guys that absolutely have an eye toward fashion, knowing that within this box, there's still lots of creativity, and the ability to work within this box is what makes NBA players so special. They know what the length of the court is. They know where the three-point line is. And yet and still, we have James Harden inventing new ways to get fouled. It's just one aspect of it. Another aspect of it was he was ruthless with fines because he wanted the rules to mean something. He famously fined Michael Jordan for wearing his shoes onto the court, which spawned a billion-dollar brand that is Jordan, right? My favorite sports team, where's Jordan? I own a crap ton of Jordans. They are my favorite sneakers, and I wear them all the time, and I get compliments for the Jordans that I wear. He famously fined Mark Cuban 6 times with 6 figures, right? One of the reasons that he fined him was for blogging about NBA officiating. He called Tim Donaghy, rightfully so, an isolated criminal. He went at everybody from politicians to business people. He went at his players association. Well, it's not his because he represents the owners, and he thought that the owners should have a bigger stake in the pie. And he had one work stoppage that lasted for 32 games, and he had another work stoppage that lasted for 16 games, and he didn't flinch. Either or. Had Dwayne Wade pointing his finger at him, talking about, don't point your finger at me, I'm not your kid. David Stern also is the reason why we get such great behind-the-scenes access to the NBA. It's the reason why the NBA has taken over with so much of a marketing share. I get that viewership is down this year, and there are lots of reasons as to why that could be. But the conversation around the NBA, which is the part of the sport that I love the most, has never been more vibrant in any professional sports setting. That includes the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NHL. I also believe that the lasting mark for me personally of the David Stern era was he was an early adopter of YouTube as a marketing engine for their product. In an age where Major League Baseball would take down any guy that wanted to upload a highlight video, then the age where the NFL would say, not only can you not do this, but if you want to enjoy our product, you're going to have to pay for it. We don't really want you to have highlight videos. They took down some of my favorites about Jim Brown and Barry Sanders years ago because they were so afraid of what other people might be doing to make money with their product. When David Stern and Adam Silver went on record, Adam Silver when he was still deputy commissioner, going, look, we're very protective of our live rights, the things that go on ESPN, TNT, and ABC and the like. But we look at YouTube and highlight videos as strictly marketing. And it became so much more than that because the thing that David Stern always wanted to do was make the NBA into a global brand while pushing for more media coverage. And he did not stop at the United States. He was first to go in China and say, look at what we have for you, and give them a team to look for in, hey, look, we drafted Yao Ming. I guess the Houston Rockets are now your guys, right? And we've seen Adam Silver continue this approach to the NBA, making it a global game. Famously fined Greg Popovich for sitting players. And Greg Popovich, for many folks, is one of the best NBA coaches ever, perhaps the best ever, if you really want to have an argument about it. And he revolutionized international scouting and the way that you look at talent, and gave Oklahoma City Sam Presti, among other things. You're looking at David Stern and you see a guy who would make things like Free Dawkins Possible, the popular YouTube channel that cuts up highlights of players, and House of Highlights, Omar, my goodness, what he's done with that channel has been phenomenal, and it has become a property unto itself, and it's helped to power other larger media companies like Bleacher Report and even like Turner Sports and even ESPN to a degree. Everybody's got in on this because they would have been within their rights, the NBA, to tell people to take down their videos, right? But for those of us that live and breathe the NBA, and for many people who absolutely need these abbreviated versions of games or to understand what makes a player tick, these are the only ways in which you would have access to them. One of the most humbling things about my channel is I was told by a librarian that she knows of a handful of people that go into the library strictly to log on and watch this channel because the internet is not as ubiquitous as you think. Not everybody has a smartphone. Not everybody has an existing connection to Wi-Fi. And more than that, you'll have people that want to know more about the NBA or want to know more about a player that just can't find it. It's just not that easy to do. And YouTube is one of the largest, I believe it's the second largest website in the entire world behind Google. And then Facebook is third. But even so, you get my point here. We talk about the NBA in such wide circles and with such a wide variety of people, and it is so terribly diverse because David Stern allowed it to be everywhere as much as he humanly could, while also giving it its identity and building a box for most of his players to play in, whether they liked it or not, and many of them did not. But he was also the guy that did not flinch at how much you didn't like him. And I've never enjoyed that more in a commissioner than I do now, right? I understand that you want to be liked. We all want to be liked. Roger Goodell tried to set up a workout for Colin Kaepernick because he wanted to be liked. Didn't work out because it came from a place of, I want people to like me. David Stern didn't care if you liked him. He was a business leader, and he was in charge of a business. He was a lawyer by trade, and he's the guy that would come up to the podium and the New York Knicks fans booing the hell out of him and saying, bring it, let's go. Whatever you want to throw at me, I got it. Tremendous backbone, steely demeanor, understanding who he is and what he wants the league to be, and then capably handing it over to Adam Silver, who is the most well-liked commissioner in all of the NBA, and he has his own struggles ahead of him with Hong Kong and China. And what is he going to do about the viewership that is declining with the NBA in the age of load management and live streaming with YouTube TV and other outlets getting involved, and what's going to go on with these NBA contracts and how the TV is really sort of outdated for a product that is consumed widely by the internet. And what's happening, and you'll see this, I believe a lot of the viewership is because folks like myself and a little bit younger don't have the buying power that we will when we get older, because that's what happens. You get older and you get more money and you get in places of privilege, and then your tastes take over. It's why the EPL and MLS are going to be a big deal as well. It's not that I don't like the NFL. I do like the NFL. I have a tremendous base of football knowledge, and that's why I am able to enjoy it. But the conversation around it, not so much. It's not really that much fun. It's not as much fun as college football or the EPL or the NBA. And I'm not afraid to say the NBA is my second favorite sport behind college football. And then, we'll talk about the rest. And I love sports, and I love talking about sports. But the NBA has always been the most fun because I can talk the most with it about friends, right? I can really engage with people that I wouldn't necessarily know or meet. One of my favorite Twitter follows is KB, and KB is a diehard Oklahoma City Thunder fan, and she's watching every one of these games, and she's got sometimes profanity-laced tirades about it because she cares that much. But if it wasn't this ubiquitous a conversation, we wouldn't have it, man. And I get it. Not everybody's into the NBA. It doesn't fit with your political bent, and I get that too. I do want to take this time to acknowledge, though, that the NBA has become so much fun and given us LeBron James in all the ways, and Kobe Bryant in all the ways, and Michael Jordan in all the ways, because David Stern really pushed for it and made sure that it happened. And if nothing else, please appreciate that and take just a moment to think about him and wish his family well, whom I'm sure is grieving. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.